I've been shot at several times, guns held to my head. I can't imagine what it would be like to not have God in my life. Be lost.
Yeah.
My pastor got shot on the lawn executionary style by her ex-husband. And so it's a lot easier to build walls than it is to deal with those emotions in it. And it was almost like the two halves of my identity just crashed literally into each other. Like it's almost like you hit rock bottom and you have to build yourself back up because who you think you are, it isn't even close. We haven't mastered the language of emotions like at all. You can be a super strong man and still cry. You can be a super strong man and still be the spiritual leader of the house.
Right.
You can be the super strong man and go to the daddy-daughter dances.
Right.
You know, I don't even know where to even go. It's dark, super dark.
Yeah. All right, so Bryan, glad to have you here, bro. I want to say we go way back because it feels like
Feels like it.
We've been knowing each other for a little while, not a long time, but just the camaraderie and the brotherhood makes it seem like it's been a really long time. So glad to have you here. So just tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Bryan Hains, originally from Colorado, born in Denver, Colorado. Spent most of my life there in the early stages. Grew up in the urban sector in North Denver. Now it's called the Highlands, but we always call it the North Side. Then moved to a rural area afterwards. After getting into a little trouble, we were able to skin out in the trouble that to skin out and go to a very rural environment. But grew up in a huge Latino area, and then went to an all-white area where I graduated with 38 cats. Wow. And then first-generation college student, so I went to Colorado State. Cried the day I got in because we don't do that kind of stuff, you know? And so went there and I got a degree in agricultural education, and then went back in rural America. You know, the dating scene isn't so great. And so also went back for a master's degree too, and finished up a master's degree, and then I taught high school in Indiana, Kokomo, right around Kokomo, Indiana. Taught high school there for a couple years. Was married at the time. Okay. Got married at 23.
Oh, wow.
Young. And then went to Purdue University and got a PhD there in curriculum instruction. Again, something that's what the tattoos are all representing, man. So finished up there. I traveled 80 miles a day to get it done for 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
And then finished up there and got a job here at UK and been here almost I'm on my 18th year here. But I've been working to prepare future teachers, and then started working into community engagement and community development, community education, and love it. But it allows me to work with amazing people like yourself, and that's the heart of what I like to do. And that's me. I'm on my second marriage, and I have 4 children. One is in college. One is almost 16.
Okay.
Come on. And then we have a 13 and a 12-year-old.
Okay.
So that's just a little bit about it. That's that.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because you mentioned you went down a route that like where you came from, y'all don't do that. So what was it? What was the push? What was the inspiration, or what was it that led you to go down the path of like going to school and college and things like that? Because from what I'm hearing, that's really wasn't what you saw and where you grew up in. So where did that come from?
Good point. I come from a long line of really, really hard workers, but also really hard drinkers.
Okay.
And those don't when you're stressed out like that, and then you hit that, it doesn't equate to good living.
Right. Yeah.
But that's not my dad. My dad was the one who broke the genetic line on that particular piece. He wasn't going to have that.
Okay.
And he instilled into me at a young age, it's good work ethic, but you don't need all of these terrible coping mechanisms. But even in where I grew up, it's all around you, right? So you get affiliated with the wrong team of folks, and you start to scrap. You know, you're constantly engaged with the law. So to break from that, my folks, and it's a privilege.
Yeah.
We went from an 800 square foot cinder block house to the country, and you start to see a really different life where people haven't had that same kind of fishbowl effect, if you will, where you see that. And so even at 16, well, first of all, the rural farm community wasn't going to have my kind of attitude.
Yeah.
So they'll straighten you out real quick. And then when you need a job, they'll straighten you out real quick too, because they're not putting up with any kind of mumbo jumbo, if you will.
Right.
Anyway, my dad always, and my mom too, said, you're gonna have to go find an education,
Right.
whether it's community college or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was 16, I started pouring concrete. I drove 100 miles a day to pour concrete, and I had all 120 pounds of me. Anyway, we started pouring concrete, and I was making $8 an hour, which was huge back in that time.
Yeah.
That's good money.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is it, man. I'm gonna make this cash. And he said, "How you feeling now?" I said, "Oh, I'm sore, but nothing." He goes, "How are you gonna feel when you're 55?" And I thought, he's probably onto something there, know. And so maybe education is the way to go. So they instilled that pretty deep, and then the rest of it was God and glory, man. It was the only way, because I was rumbling, stumbling, and fumbling.
Yeah.
So it just, you start putting things out there, and you hope that you can make it to here or there, and see what the options are if you have those options, and then you step through each one of those, right? So, but that was one way. I know it's not for everybody, but it seemed to work out okay on my end on this one. But I'm the first to do it. So
wow. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. So where you are now and the type of work that you do, was that from an interest you had when you were younger or something? Like, how did you?
Yeah, you nailed me. I grew up in an area of a lot of violence. I've been shot at several times, guns held to my head. I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, there were these shoes called British Knights, man.
Oh, man, what?
And so if you're throwing down on some British Knights, so at knife point, they stole them off my feet.
Oh,
man.
wow.
I had to walk home barefoot.
Oh, man.
Just being with the wrong friends again.
Yeah.
And anyway, to go down that path was absolutely silly. It just... Anyway, so to surpass that, there's a lot of guardian angels, I would imagine, that are getting there. And then I didn't finish the rest of the question. What was the second part of that?
So that's what led you, because like what you do now, the type of work you do.
Yeah,
now,
so that's right outside of my, like within a block's radius. If I were to show you where I live, is a Jesuit university, a Catholic Jesuit university. And I always wondered, how come they never reached out to me? And understanding, my pastor got shot on the lawn, executionary style, by her ex-husband. And so the faith thing kind of quit when we were doing that. And so it wasn't good. But in that situation, I'm looking at this Christian-based Catholic university that's supposed to be engaged in the community, wondering, what the heck are you doing for me? And they never did anything. 30 years later, I got an offer to work there as a job.
Oh, wow.
And I said, what are you doing for that house and these kids right here?
Right.
Nothing. I said, nah, I'm not about that. I could do more here at UK than I can even where I grew up. And so it's a fuel for me. And I don't get a lot of accolades for doing things in our home community. Institutions want national and international prestige, which is fine, and I do work there too. But it's hard to work where you live, because, as you well know, you have to stare these folks in the face if you screw up, if you do well, the criticism is there. So, why wouldn't you put into your community? That's the passion. Nobody did it for me, so why can't I do it for others?
Right.
And that's the fuel, the fire, and that's why I love working with you all, because I don't get the opportunity on the daily to be there, but I could help at all costs behind the scenes and help things move as best I can as well.
Right. Yeah. No, that's good. That's really good. And you made a good point about, like that. It's the how can I put it? It's the doing it from a heart of, I don't care about the fluff. Like, if I'm a partner with you, if I'm a dude, we're gonna do this work, whatever it is. Like, what's your intentions? and you like you were saying, like the opportunity you had, like it's been 30 years. Y'all wasn't doing it then. If y'all doing, let me see if y'all, kind of figure it out, and then yeah, I can partner with it. Like you really, cause you know, I mean, I know you, so you know if somebody's really doing work or if they not. It's just about a show, whatever. So I like that you were able to ask that question and see like, what are y'all doing for them that really need it? If you got these resources, what are you doing for those that truly need it? You know what I mean?
It should be their ethos, right? It should be absolutely in the academic DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there.
Right. Unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. So let's kind of pivot a little bit. We got to know you a little bit more, a little better. Well, they did. I know you. So the people that watch, they'll get to know you a little bit more. So let's pivot a little bit. Like I told you, this podcast is about normalizing the men, addressing their mental health, and just kind of removing that stigma. The where you came from. I'm sure it's kind of some of the same things. Your community, my community, it's, as a man, you suck it up. As a man, you be strong, be soft, to cry is to be soft. And as you get older, if you subscribe to all of that, then now you're an adult with all of these issues, these emotions, don't know how to express it, and it's going to come out somehow.
That's right.
And for men, it comes out usually in the absolute wrong way. So let me, and we'll take this in parts. Let me ask you, what was in your upbringing? Was that kind of what was taught to you to kind of suppress those emotions and all that?
Definitely from my grandparents' generation, no question.
Uh-huh.
My dad, very similar. He's a quiet man, and his emotions will come out. Like you said, they bottle them up, and when they come out, they come out. But it was much more in frustration. But he would never lay a hand. I mean, he was one of those guys that I guess I tell you, he broke the genetic chain here but it wasn't that we talk about it a lot. It wasn't that we walked through that, and so yeah, it's a lot more difficult. I teach emotions at school, and I don't know. Can we speak as freely as we can?
Absolutely.
All right. So I tell the students a lot of times. I said, "What does I'm okay mean?" Like if your girl says I'm okay, right? If we're talking about emotions and other stuff, okay has a gamut this big. It could mean I'm actually okay, or I'm pissed off, or these kinds of things. And men always say, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine," or "I'm pissed off."
Right.
Pissed off could be just frustrated, or it could be I'm about to be rage in this situation. We haven't mastered the language of emotions like at all, and we're not doing any better, even with a focus on mental health.
Right.
And so, once we can master the language, then you understand the intensity that is intended or that you're feeling. And then nobody understands what the triggers are. And that's been my biggest problem. I'm just feeling this. I'm feeling this anxiety. I'm feeling this. I don't even know where it started. And until you start to reflect on that stuff, man, it's a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
So it wasn't modeled as much, but it was better than the generation before. But still not perfect by any means.
Got you. So let me ask you this: how was your and you can share as much as you want, as little as you want. How was your journey through life? The difficulties, whatever. What impact did that have on you? Because you say your dad kind of broke the mold, so you it wasn't as bad as the generation before. What, if any, impact did that have on you as becoming a man, as going through, life, your family, whatever you had to face? What was there an impact on how you navigated life?
Yeah. No question about it. I went through a divorce by myself, and I could have reached out, but that wasn't what you do. You handle it. You handle your business, right? And it wasn't a great one. But handling that by myself, I was in a single bedroom apartment. I didn't see my daughter for some time, and to navigate that process, I did it all by myself. And man, like that's not healthy.
No.
And so, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't perfect. And so did it have an impact on me? Absolutely. Yeah, I'm tough. I got this stuff. Inside you're going, what in the world is going on? This is a terrible experience.
Right.
and I don't even know where to even go. It's dark, super dark.
Yeah.
That, losses of family member. It's all dark. You just handle it and move on, and it's a lot easier to build walls than it is to deal with those emotions, isn't it?
Man.
A lot easier.
Man. So, man, that's a bar right there, bro. That's a bar. So at what point was there an aha moment, or what point where you was like, all right, I gotta face this? Was there like a moment, or was it?
There's been a couple.
Where it's like I can't bottle this in. It's gotta shift.
Yeah, I forget the movie. It's Crash.
Mm-hmm.
You know the movie?
Yeah.
I was watching that, and I've always lived two lives, right? This is just an identity piece.
Yeah.
But I always had my urban side where I grew up in that Latin side of me,
Right.
and then I always had the rural side of me too. And they don't gel, right? So you have to have these personas that shift, code switch all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was watching Crash, and all of a sudden it all hit, and I probably cried, I don't know, 30 minutes, and I never cried.
Wow.
And it just tore me up, and I thought, I don't have to be one or the other, right? I don't know why that movie.
Yeah.
It was at that moment where I've experienced something like that. I think there was a gun pointed to the little girl's head. I lost my jazz, completely lost it. 30 minutes later, I'm going, I don't even know what's wrong with me. Like, it's almost like you hit rock bottom and you have to build yourself back up because who you think you are isn't even close. And it was almost like the two halves of my identity just crashed literally into each other. And that I'll never forget that moment because I don't have to be one or the other, says society, right? I could be all of it.
Yeah.
I can work in urban environments and have that gang-oriented background and still with my kids show goats at a county fair, right? I mean, but nobody thinks like that. Nobody thinks that's okay. You got to be one or the other, and you got to associate with one or the other. Otherwise, you don't fit into a social norm. So that was one of the pivotal moments where I was like, man, you don't have to do this stuff anymore. You can just be who you are. And why did it take that? I don't know. But it was a movie, and then to work through that took years.
Wow.
Yeah, but I haven't sought counseling. I've only done this on my own, and so that's a good point. Why haven't I? I think it's a stigma behind that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just the whole idea of, especially as men, figuring it out on your own. It all falls on you. I don't care if you didn't start the problem or you're not the cause of the issue. As a man in a household, in society, it falls on you.
That's right.
So I think because we've been so conditioned by that, that's how we navigate life. We don't reach out. Men don't have these type of conversations.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
We go watch football. We talk about this, that, and the other, but we don't have these type of conversations.
No, we crack jokes on each other. That's how we. Oh man, it's all good. Make fun of you. Your mama jokes.
Right.
All that stuff, and that's how we relate. We don't ever get to the real stuff because it's super uncomfortable.
Exactly.
We're not used to that.
Exactly.
It's nice.
Yeah, that's good, and we. And that's how we can heal and move on. So you say you kind of had that pivotal moment. So what were the steps like moving from that and moving forward?
It was weird because, and even now, right? I do urban work. I do it in Lexington. I do it in Glasgow, Scotland. I do it in these urban sectors. Right. And yet I'm in a college of agriculture. Where on one floor they're studying the genetic DNA of animals and digestive process and those kinds of things, which is cool because I'm on that side too.
Right.
But they don't get me as a result of that identity piece, Working through is still an issue because in the world we let the youth be whoever they are because there's been a movement in that. But grown-ass folks like ourselves can't be who we are because there hasn't been a movement in that, which is what I'm glad you're starting. Because we don't talk like that. And then what are we modeling for the next generation? I got a young man between his dad and I. His dad and I grew up in a very similar situation. And what are we modeling for him? Relationships.
Yes.
How do we model relationships for these folks? Because we didn't talk about anything romantic other than you just saw your folks or you saw your auntie or your abuelita or whatever. You get to see all of that, and they talk about it. They look at us, but they never say how to navigate it to yourself, right? And your personal relationships with significant others is a huge part of that. We never talk about it as, hey, do you start a contract out when you first start talking? How do you feel about raising children? Where's your spiritual life? You know? And for me, I think that's the only thing that straightened my tail out is to have God in my life.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would be like to not have God in my life. Be lost.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up because it made me think about, you said something earlier, how that the experience you had with, the Catholic Church and what you experienced, how that kind of put a wedge in between, you know what I'm saying, the whole religion, the spirituality, God and everything. How was you able to navigate back to a place where yeah.
So it was Methodist when we were at. So I started dating Catholic girls, and that's where the Catholic stuff came in. Married one. Anyway, it's hard. I mean, your spiritual leader gets shot. Man. Why is God allowing that to happen? Yeah. Right? My friend when I was growing up gets shot. I'm holding him in my arms while he dies. Jeez. I mean, bullets coming over our heads. Why does that happen? We didn't do anything, you know. Like, I guess looking back, just because of your social network, you're just as guilty as everybody else. But man, why does all that go down? And I think that's terrifying for a lot of people. So it takes a lot of reflection and prayer, honestly. But it's not easy, especially when you're a teenager, right? You don't have that adult reflection piece. Exactly. And you're just like, man, whatever. And you just keep on going on for survival technique. You don't worry about the rest of that stuff. And so to come back to it, I think it takes others who can model going back to the faith. And I'm not, for a long time I didn't know, you don't have to go to church to be a faithful person. Right. I like to be outdoors, and you'll find God in outdoors a lot because then that's that meditation piece. But I thought that's all you needed, and now I'm realizing that there's a different form of being fed. Yeah. But who talks about this stuff? Nobody.
You're right.
So you're stumbling and rumbling like a fool out there, and I hope that I don't allow that to happen to the next generation of my daughters. I got 3 daughters. Why would I showcase that you have to be a man as we've known it in the past? Right. You can be a super strong man and still cry. You can be a super strong man and still be the spiritual leader of the house. Right. You can be the super strong man and go to the daddy-daughter dances, and be a fool and all this other stuff and love their mom like there's no tomorrow. Right. And that's, to me, where that center is. And I do a lot of traveling, and I miss that when I'm gone all the time. Yeah. It's you got to come back and showcase that to the kids,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's important.
Absolutely. It's like it's that a guy I follow, and I got a couple of his books, and he was actually in town last week, and I got to chat with him, get him to sign the books, and he was just talking about being a comprehensive man, being comprehensive, and some of the things he said, you said it, be able to be the leader, the strong. Also be able to be, do the things with your kids, do the things, the girly things with your daughters, and do the other things with your sons. Be able to have conversations with your wife where you're letting her know how maybe what she said or did made you feel, and not feeling less of a man about it. I think oftentimes in me, I'm currently engaged and we'll be married next year. Looking forward to that. So I'm really learning how to express to my fiance how I feel, and I'm still a man,
Yeah, that's right.
I don't change. So it's just navigating that part. I think it's not easy. Nope. You know what I mean? It's not easy at all. Most people are like, man, you want to like that, but in being able and the guy said, he made this analogy. It was so good. He had a picture of a box of crayons with 8 colors, just your regular colors. And then he had a box of crayons with 64 with very different variations of those colors, and the box was of 8 was for the men. We only know how to show purple, blue, this, but women, they know how to show violet, lime, you know, and all these other things.
And you should be able to interpret all those colors.
Yeah, right, that part. And it's like, Jesus. But just the analogy was Megan was talking about how that we have difficulty knowing how to express those other emotions. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, like I said, pissed off can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm good can mean a lot of things. I have a point for you, too. I was reflecting on, we've lost rites of passage, which I think when it comes to males specifically, whatever happened to that? Women, you know, have a lot of things, whether it's biological or prom or whatever the heck it is, you know, based on the family. In the Latin communities, quinceañera has a huge component and rite of passage for women. But we've, as a general society, have lost these rites of passage. And I think about that as development because my son sent me a text just the other day, and there's this big old fire going, right? And we go camping, and I said, I'm going to go fishing, and I'll be back, and the fire better be going. Well, now I'm like, okay, I'll get the fire going, but you better bring home dinner, right? Yeah. And so there's this challenge. Yeah. And he started this whole thing by himself. I said, what'd you use? He said, I used all of the basic equipment. I feel quite accomplished. He's 16, started his own fire, and now he's starting to feel like he's a man because of these little rites of passage. Yes. As simple as that. Yes. My daughter, our youngest, mowed the lawn and weed-eated the lawn. She's 12. Oh, wow. For her, that was a rite of passage. Yeah. She's stepping. Those things help with the development because as you're struggling, unfortunately, our other daughter didn't make the volleyball team this round. Yeah. Tears, the whole family's upset, you know, well, because she's been working her tail off. How do you work through this adversity and how you help model them working through that adversity matters. Yes. But women always have a village to navigate that. Men don't. They don't. It's like, oh, man, that sucks. Rub some dirt on it, get back in the game, you know, and it don't work like that. Yeah. So it's just interesting how even within the family dynamics, people expect people to work through it. It's okay for the girls to cry, but you didn't make the team, and so now it's just like, oh, better luck next year, dude. Right. Yeah. No. What's the deal? Yeah. And it's just weird, but I think those rites of passage are something that we've long forgot that are super needed. That's good. Even for us, how about when do you get to celebrate, right? These joys. You specifically and the team work in heavy situations. Celebrations are hard. Yeah. That work-life balance matters, but when do you get to celebrate the reduction? Right. While there's still shootings. Yeah. Like when do you get to celebrate the reduction of gun violence here? And the good work that y'all are doing. Probably never. Yeah. You may go to a steak dinner once a year, right? Why? Yeah. We don't celebrate, but we're quick to critique. Absolutely. Now, how do you work through that? Yeah. Nobody talks about it. Yeah.